Good.
Awesome. So guys, welcome to our Sunday night business call. I'm sorry, my voice is a little hoarse right now, so I'm going to try to be as loud as possible. I just want to thank you guys so much for jumping on this call. I know lazy Sundays, you definitely don't want to be doing anything, but it's so great that we have this call that we can sit. I'm wearing my pajama bottoms, but you guys don't need to know that. And it's so great that we have that. We can do this. I'm so excited for all the speakers that are on tonight. My little puppy, well, he's not a puppy, he's 8, but he's joining in on the back, so he's excited and ready to go as well. So if you don't know what this call is, we're a group of individuals with a common vision to ignite all young people to own their lives physically and financially, and through our contributions create freedom and a lasting legacy. Who can get excited about that? Right? So the purpose of these calls is we're just trying to unite all of Start Canada, as well as the restarters who come and join us every now and then. And we are so excited to have you guys on today. Anyone watching the recording, thank you so much for taking the time and looking at it. We get together and we provide tools and support, coaching, and inspiration so that every single person's belief is a 10 out of 10, so you feel like you're confident enough to go out and share this amazing gift that we've been given. Just a quick note, if anyone, we will be starting the schedule for next year, so if you know anyone who wants to be part of the calls, or if you would like to be part of the calls yourself, please reach out to Tina or Morgan or anyone on the committee. That'd be greatly appreciated so that we can get that schedule ready. Just a disclaimer though, Isagenix is a health and wellness company, but we don't make any claims to diagnose, prevent, treat, or cure any illness. No two bodies are the same, so the results vary. You you pretty much get what you put into it. So if you go at play at 100%, you're going to see the results. And the body is a miracle that once you put this amazing superfood in your body, you don't know what's going to happen until it does. So you might also hear some financial claims. Isagenix has a financial opportunity. However, the same thing, what you put in is what you get out, so no person is necessarily going to make the same as anyone else. So guys, please feel free to use the chat, show love for all our speakers today. I just want to see, does anyone have any take-homes from last week, any wins for the week? I know that Gagan was really pushing for events. Did anyone buy a ticket to an event or anything? I'd love to hear it right now. Anyone? No, it's okay. We'll try next week. So I would just like to introduce our first speaker. It's the starter in the spotlight. His name is Adriel. He's 31 years old, originally from Cuba. He's a professional classic guitar player, an orchestra director, and a teacher at the National Art School in Cuba. He's also a network marketer and salesman by trade. He was an Armsole independent dealer in 2012. He is also the founder of mydelivery.ca, which is an alcoholic and fast food deliverer for online order services with over 1,800 hotel rooms in Moncton. He started Isagenix in June of 2016, and he feels super excited about helping people as a nutritional coach. So if everyone can please welcome Adriel.
Yay. Can you hear me there, guys? Awesome. And I'm been here in Canada for about 5 years already. So 4 years ago, I went back to the gym. I was feeling awful. I was working so much, and I didn't have energy. I didn't feel well with my body, and I said, well, it is time to go back to the gym. And I've been trying all kind of supplements and all kind of stuff around the supplement store to grow some muscles and do the powerlifting and bodybuilding and all this stuff. So I was kind of concerned about all the toxins I was putting into, all the chemicals and all the toxins I was putting into my body, because at the end of the night, after the training, I couldn't just sleep. I was so much stuff like whey protein, pre-workouts, and BCAAs, and all this stuff. So, whoa, there's something I have to find out, because this is gonna kill me somehow. So I was introduced by Isagenix by this amazing person, Felicia Burke, here in Moncton, New Brunswick. And I said, well, let's give it a try. Why not? One more. So I started trying Isagenix, and I started seeing results. After 1 month of trying Isagenix, I started seeing results in my body. I said, whoa, I have to check in. I have to check it out very well. So I went, started reading stuff. I seeing all the change these people they having in their life. So well, let's try Isagenix. So I'm been using Isagenix already for 6 months. I lose 35 pounds, and I'm reaching my body goals already, which I never did it before. So whoa, this is amazing. So um, as I speak Spanish, um, I see Isagenix is expanding over the Spanish market, which is Mexico and is Colombia already. It's been 2 years. It's very very new product for the Spanish market, and I'm having a lot of friends out there, and I'm talking to them, and they kind of interesting about Isagenix. They have an event by the February, so I might be going there to try some guacamole, which I love it, and I'm very excited about Isagenix going to the Spanish market because I can't speak English, but I do Spanish as well. I like Spanish, and I like Mexico also. So I went to Toronto this last September, and when I first met Isagenix for my first event, and I couldn't imagine all this huge family who represent Isagenix. And I found those crazy young people all fired up called Star Canada. So, whoa, who are those people? They bring me to take pictures. Oh, let's go and do this. They're gonna do that. So, whoa, I feel amazing. I feel like I have a huge family who support us. So I I said, well, I have to do this, and I have to bring all my friends to help them out with Isagen represent for me. And I feel just fired up to be in the Star Canada group right now. Thank you, and peace.
So awesome.
Thank you so much, Adriel. Guys, who else is excited that we're going so international, right? And it's so cheap to get that international pass. Like, Amy, you're in Costa Rica right now. Like, that'd be so great. I know for me, like, I would love for it to hit some of those Caribbean islands because I wouldn't mind living down there and working, right? That's so exciting. Thank you so much, Adriel. So our next portion of the call is, we've named it now the PG portion, so the personal growth portion of the call. Thank you, Tina. Copyright of heard. I'm really excited to introduce this woman. Her name's Alicia Ward. Her social media page is insane. If you guys ever need any ideas of what to post or how to post, definitely follow Alicia on this. She is a 26-year-old from Edson, Alberta. She enrolled in Isagenix in August 2016, mainly to regain energy back in her life and to lose some of that weight from traveling. Not only did she find both the energy and weight loss, but she also found a passion for something that she loves being a part of. She has been working in the oil field since she graduated high school in 2008, doing administration. Now that it's been 8 years, though, she's very much so looking forward to setting the goal of quitting her job in 2017 and focusing on Isagenix business full-time. She has an amazing dog named Rupert and loves to travel and snowboard, and she has a drive to see majority of the planet and snowboard in as many countries as she can. So Alicia, I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Thank you, Kim. Hi, everybody. I hope you can all hear me. I can't see everyone's screens. I kind of timed what I jotted down, so I should hit the 5-minute mark. I just got home from ICU in Phoenix today. I flew this morning. I had to get up at 3 a.m. to catch my flight. I'll never do that again. So she kind of gave the gist of my story. So since being at ICU, I've developed my why a little bit more because like they taught us kind of how to do it. So they say to dig deep when you're creating your why for things like this. So what I came up with while I was there was my why really stems from growing up in a family of 6 kids. So I have 5 siblings, and my parents were always struggling with money consistently. And when they divorced, my mom was struggling with money. And this is what I witnessed. So being a woman, watching my mom as a single mom struggling with money, I made a decision. I was not going to follow in those footsteps. I was going to build a foundation for myself. So when I do have a family, like money isn't an issue like that. You know, my mom used to have to go through the grocery store, till, and choose things to put back while people were waiting in line behind her just to make it affordable for us, you know, and I just don't want that for my children. And I want to give back to my mom. Like one day I hope to give back to her and help her financial stresses disappear. And getting into the oil field so young was the first step in that direction for me. And Isagenix has been the second step, and that I've been waiting for, you know. So on to my personal growth, my personal development. Until 3 months ago when I started, I didn't even know what personal development was. And the fact that it's only been 3 months is exciting on its own because I've already done such an immense amount of it. And I've honestly kind of become addicted to it, addicted to reading, addicted to growing. I don't watch TV anymore. It just seems like a waste of time, right? And who doesn't want to be a better, like the best version of themselves? So like I said, I just got back from ICU and I want to speak to you on the importance of these events. That was only my second event. I went to a Super Saturday in Calgary when I first enrolled, and ICU is my second. And I just want to touch on the money piece because going to these events obviously isn't free. And when I heard about the importance of the events to my business, my mindset was that like the money in my bank account is what took priority over going to these events. Until I started to read some self-development books. And the main one was Eric Worre's Go Pro. And in it, he literally says that events are the crucial piece to being successful in this type of business. And when I heard that and read that part in the book, I actually listened to the audiobook of it, I bought my ticket. And then I bought my RYKO ticket, and I'm going to buy my celebration ticket because, you know, it's investing in yourself. You go to these things to invest in yourself and invest in your future, and you just need to have that as your mindset, you know? And honestly, what better way to invest in yourself and in your business than going to these amazing events and being around like-minded people instead of having to like go to college and like be in school for years and have massive student loans you have to pay off, right? Like this is a much funner way to invest in yourself and your future. Anyways, so what we do can get really hard some days, and after enough of these hard days happen, your whole mindset can start to shift, and going to these events will reset it. It gets you back to being positive, and you feel the energy in the room, and you're around all these people doing the same thing as you, all these real people you're meeting, the people who have made it to the top, the Cougars themselves. You're seeing them, you're hearing their stories, you're seeing that they're real, and they all started exactly where all of us are. And it's just really, really empowering, and it really gets you motivated. So when you come back, you're just ready to hit it hard and keep doing it. And that's why they have a few every year, because, you know, it like I said, it's tough, it's draining. You start to get discouraged sometimes, and you need these reminders that, you know, everyone's in the same place as you. And it just takes patience and persistence and, you know, consistency to get there. So even though the money might be tight and you can think of a million other things you'd rather spend that money on, don't. Invest in yourself, invest in your business, invest in your future. Some of my biggest takeaways from the event. The one big thing, Isagenix is number 2 globally for network marketing. That is insane because there's thousands upon thousands of network marketing companies, like number 22. Healthy mind and body. I'm currently doing mine right now, and I'm so grateful I decided to do it. It takes 60 days to break a habit, 28 days to create one, and you get money back for when you do it, but that's just minute. You get so much more than that. So do it. There's people in that room who's on their 3rd, 4th, 5th time doing it, and it's retention. The more you do it, the more that habit sticks. So I highly recommend doing your healthy mind and body, and so does everybody. Like, it'll improve your business huge. Your team will do 100% of what you don't do and 50% of what you do. So do your Isabody challenge, do your healthy mind and body, do the products, do self-development, do 3-way calls or Zoom calls. You catching my drift? Social media. Be consistent with it. Find your own personal peak posting times, your own personal style that aligns with your schedule. Everybody's different. Maybe you work night shifts, you know, and you're going to be posting when you're off work or before you go to work. You know, you'll find your own. And when people comment or like on your post, make an effort to go to their page and comment back. Go find a photo of theirs and comment. I didn't mean you get your money back. I seen that one comment. You pay, I think you pay $35 or something, and they end up refunding you when you complete it. If you complete it all, I think you get $10 extra, like they'll give you like 45 back or something for products. It's not cash or anything. So you end up, making a rebate. Yeah, exactly. Anyways, so your list, you want to make sure it's written down. Don't ever delete someone from it. They will come around, and don't ever judge anyone and rule them out for any reason at all. If they say no, leave them on there. They will come around. Everyone is has their own battle, so don't ever judge them, you know, because they will. They'll come on their own time. When people decline, make sure to leave the impression with them and leave this impression through your social media so that when they do decide to make a healthy change in their life, you're the first person that comes to their mind. And work on your story, guys. I'll be honest, the whole deep from within me, sharing my why, being about how I had a poor upbringing, that's the first time I've ever put that down on paper as my why. That's the first time I've ever shared it with anybody. Dig down deep in your gut, find your true why you're here, and sorry, I had a call come in. I'm grateful for my why. I'm happy I grew up the way I did, because I wouldn't be a strong, independent businesswoman if I hadn't grown up that way, you know? So bring your teams, your family, the people you care about to the events with you, even the smaller ones, closer to home, because they will change anyone's perspective and any skepticism that they might have. Anyone who comes in with some skepticism to these events leaves with none. You know, they will crush any doubts that anybody may have, provide you and anyone else confidence in what an amazing company and opportunity Isagenix is. And that's my piece.
Thank you so much, Alicia. That was so great. Guys, who can relate to going to events and having all those takeaways and those feelings and really reigniting that fire in you, right? Getting around that many people again. I know I missed ICU because I chose to go camping because that's what I felt like I needed to do. And I know Morgan's going to tell me she told me so. But I know after I regretted that I didn't go because I didn't get that feeling again. So I will not be, she just said it, I will not be missing another one for sure as long as my schooling allows it. So thank you so much, Alicia, for taking that time to explain everything that you experienced down there. I'm really excited to have our next speaker, John. He's part of the Peterborough clan that, sorry, my voice is starting to go. He's part of the Peterborough clan that I like to call my family. He is a restarter from Peterborough, Ontario. He started Isagenix in October 2015. He spent 14 years working in brand marketing with companies such as Pepsi, InBev, and Kellogg's. He was a co-owner of a local newspaper and worked as a marketing strategist for several years prior to Isagenix. His passion is rooted to endurance and extreme sports along with business. He's completed a high level of in endurance sports such as the Ironman triathlons, marathons, and enduro mountain bike races. He's a skydiver, a scuba diver, and experienced in backcountry wandering. He currently works as a police officer, which allows his family to be able to stay in a small community. His sole mission in life is to inspire others to move to more moments of activeness so they can play life all out. I love this saying, what is coming up, is that he believes that we should all skid sideways into the grave and without any regret, saying that was one heck of a ride. To do this, he plans to help people set them up with a foundation of success, including awesome nutrition, exercise, and healthy lifestyle habits. He's currently training for his first ultra trail run race, which is a 50-kilometer race in the spring located in Bear Mountain State Park in New York. So, John, thank you so much for coming on the call today.
Hey, thanks, Kim. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the awesome introduction. Really excited to be here. I'm a total restarter, but I'm always envious of being of the start group. I feel like I feel like I'm a 41-year-old guy trapped in like a 19-year-old body. So, or maybe it's the other way around, a 41-year-old body with a 19-year-old mind. Either way, I'm excited to be here, and thanks a lot for having me. I'm going to just quickly ask, how much time do I have? Is it 15 minutes?
Yeah, around 15.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to pull up a slide deck here. So I think I just hit share screen on the bottom. Can everybody see this? I can't see everybody anymore, so I hope you can. I think you lose this.
You're good, John. We can see it.
Okay, awesome. So really cool to be here. And Morgan had asked me a little while ago if I could come on the call and just talk about a topic. I said, okay, what's the topic? And we kind of went back and forth. And she said, well, what would you like to talk about? So I think I'll just talk about something that's pretty near and dear to my heart, which is branding. And Kim said it in the introduction. Prior to even my current day job, I worked in brand marketing for a number of years, for 14 years. That's actually what I went to university for. And it really is one of my true passions in life outside of endurance sport is the topic of branding. And one of the cool things I love about Isagenix is that they give you lots of great tools. And one of the things that Alicia just talked about was developing your why. And I think that's so critical to being successful in this business, obviously, and we're taught that time and time again. But I almost feel like one of the conversations that we often don't talk about is brands, and the most important branding project of all, which is yourself. And the reason why that is because the general rules of thumb that apply to branding also apply to you as a business, right? So you're in the business of network marketing, but whether you were in the business of network marketing or just an entrepreneur in any other avenue, it would still be crucial to brand you and your identity in terms of who you are and what you want people to remember you by. And what's interesting is that not too long ago, I'd say probably within the last 3 weeks, my days and times get lost with the shift work, but within the last 3 weeks, I had a conversation with a branding expert based out of Austin, Texas. And he's had a ton of experience working with other people in the network marketing profession. And literally verbatim, his perspective was the most successful people in network marketing business today are actually doing a great job of creating personal brands that are authentic to them. And I think that's the key word. It's authentic to them. So in other words, authentic to you. It might not be a secret to any of you on the call, but I'll just state it anyways. Brands in general command more attention, they command more sales, and most importantly, they actually command the most long-term loyal customers. And so the concept of developing your brand identity is actually just good business sense, okay? So again, like Isagenix does a great job of helping us develop our why. But the conversation we're having here in the context of branding goes a little bit beyond that. And to me, the why that you develop within the storyline of Isagenix is really just a component of the overall storyline to your brand. It's just one aspect of what you might say to somebody. To me, it's more like the elevator story of how Isagenix fits into what you're trying to accomplish. So I'm going to give you some takeaways today. Hopefully you find some value in it. And hopefully there's some nuggets of information that will help you build your business and help you in your Isagenix journey and help you in the journey of building out your teams. But if you take away nothing else today, I want you to take away these 3 points. So they're more like rules to me. Rule number 1 is people do not like to be sold to, right? So, and I'm sure many of you can relate to this. How many of you can relate to the idea of the sales associate coming over to you in the store and sort of lurking while you browse and then running away from the store as quickly as you can? I'm sure there's a few stories out there of experiences in retail stores like that, but I usually run for the hills. And I find generally that most people have some similar story to that. And it's generally because people really do not like to be sold to. And then rule number 2 is, even though we don't like to be sold to, the reality is we all love to buy. I mean, it's no secret. We live in a consumer-driven society. And because of that, we love to spend our money. There's amples of opportunity to spend our money. And every year around Christmas, we find new ways to spend our money. And it seems like almost every year we're breaking new sales records. So consumers love to buy and spend their money. And the most important rule of all, I think, is this one, which is they'll spend their money, they'll buy, especially if it's from a credible source. So those are 3 takeaways that I wanted to give you up front, because if you literally remember nothing else, those are the 3 things that you should constantly keep at the forefront as you develop your business and build out your teams. So the next thing, I just wanted to throw this out there and chime in because I can't see the comment box, but I'd ask you the question, think of some favorite brands, and I'd be curious to hear what immediately comes to mind. So if you could just chime in, state your favorite brand, and in one word, what comes to mind when you think of that brand.
So Lena says like Mac, and that's because of quality. Morgan says Lululemon, and I think I can guess why she loves Lululemon, because that's her whole wardrobe.
Nice, that's awesome. Very cool. Anybody else, or is that just the 2 there?
Lexus. I said Lexus.
And why Lexus? What comes to mind?
2 things, because from what I know about the quality and the references I've had from other people, what they've talked about as far as how they've enjoyed their cars, and also the service I've received when I gone in to look at them.
Okay, cool.
So we also have Volcom for lifestyle, Mizuno for shoes and shorts, and I think Apple because of just compatibility. I have a phone, I have a Mac, so everything just kind of goes together.
That's super cool.
Are we allowed to say we like a brand we've never tried?
Sure, 100%.
Because I love Tesla.
Oh, cool. Why?
Because they're environmentally sustainable, and the story behind the company is really interesting.
That's cool. That's a cool brand. So that's so it's cool to hear the feedback, and brand marketers spend their time really trying to understand how their brands are perceived in the mind of consumers. They consciously know what they stand for when they're developing them, but over time they spend more and more time really learning about their consumers, to the point that they want their consumers to really resonate with a single-minded idea. That single-minded idea usually becomes the rallying cry for why people have such a strong affinity for why they purchase or why they love that brand. So like the Tesla example is really cool. I don't own a Tesla. I can totally relate to that. And I love the mission that they're on. Tesla is actually not a car. They really are about environmental sustainability. In fact, their mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. So I love the Tesla example. They're all great. And all of those brands spend millions of dollars, to research and develop them over time. The cool thing is you don't need to spend millions of dollars to develop your brand, because we have lots of resources at our fingertips to do that. But I thought, just in the context of a network marketing business, it'd be neat to kind of showcase some personal brands that I've looked at as I've been building out, our business. And these are people that come to mind, and I always have one single-minded idea behind them in terms of what they stand for. So I'm just going to throw them up on the screen. So for me, somebody like Richard Branson, he really his brand identity is really adventure. If you actually look at his roots in business and him as a person, he's all about adventure, and he's transitioned that into creating very unique brand experiences that redefine the space. And because of his ingenuity and innovation and his ability to take risks, people really love the Virgin brand. whatever Virgin puts their name on is a success, and people rally behind that idea. So he's a really cool guy who's built this personal brand, but he's also built a great company because of the personal brand that he is. Another really cool one that most people will know, Tony Robbins, and his brand identity is all about the journey in life. And if you ever watched one of his seminars, he's not just a motivational speaker. He literally tears people down, and he's actually challenging people to personally grow, not in a mean way, but in a very raw and real way. And that makes his brand really unique. And it's been a while since I looked at the stats, but at one point he was the highest paid motivational speaker in the world globally. And I believe that's still to be true, but because I'm hard pressed to think of somebody else that out differentiates him in that space, because he is such a unique character when it comes to it. A little bit closer to home, somebody that I think everybody on this call will relate to just because of the start group aspect is Peter Kelly. And what's interesting is I've watched her evolution over the last year, and she already stood for this before she made the tweaks that she's doing. But her personal brand is all around humanity and inspiring change makers, inspiring that next generation of people to be bold, take big risks, do things that are unconventional. And I really love the identity that she's crafting within the social media space and within her own message. So again, very, very cool stuff. And then another person that I really admire just from the fitness perspective is Lori Harder. And what's interesting about Lori, although she's a fitness competitor, her brand is really about beauty. And it's like that holistic approach to being vibrant. It's about the inner beauty, the exterior beauty. And it's holistic in the sense that it's not just about working out or exercising. It's not just about healthy food, but it's about the mind, the body, the spirit. It's the complete package. And so I use those examples to illustrate the notion that each of these individuals have crafted a brand identity around their person, and they've extended it into the business that they've created. And that literally becomes the rallying cry that people begin to associate with them, and ultimately the reason why people start to quote unquote buy from them. I have never been personally around a Lori Harder or a Peter Kelly, but I'm willing to bet that their conversation usually doesn't start with, hey, let me tell you about this thing that I'm doing. And it probably doesn't start that way because they're on a mission to do something very specific within the space that they're in. So that's just something to think about when you're looking at personal brands. And one final thing I put on there is a guy that I think is pretty cool is Kenyan Sallow, and his brand stands for achievement, and he's really all about motivating people to do their bucket list, like to achieve their bucket list. He runs a company called The Bucket List Life, and literally challenges people to cross those things off their list before they die. So, in the context of those 5 people, I thought it would be pretty interesting to throw this slide up there with the question of, who are you? I mean, ultimately your personal brand comes down to this idea of, who are you? People within our business, the network marketing business, ultimately are going to connect with you if they know you, like you, and trust you. But it always starts with, who are you? And some key points that fall out of that for me are, if you don't appear to be a real person, or you just look like you're faking to be something that you're not, how likely is it that people are really going to trust who you are? So that's something that you really should spend a lot of time thinking about, is who are you authentically? What is it that you stand for? What is it that you want people to associate with you when they think of you, or somebody else thinks of you? The cool thing is, if you're not being who you are, most of us can kind of figure out if someone's being fake. You might be able to pull it off for a little while, but over time, if you're not being true to your authentic self, you're not being true to the things that really, really drive you, that inconsistency over time is going to be problematic. So I'll just use the example of if you want to create a long-term sustainable business, I'm of the belief, and it's just my belief, so you don't have to agree with it, but my belief is that simply saying that I'm Mr. or Mrs. Isagenix won't be a powerful enough reason for people to stick around. A big part of why people are attracted to Isagenix, in my opinion, is because they want to do more of what they love, whether that's travel, whether that's pursue a hobby, whether that's be financially free. But those are only the basis of being attracted to a business model that allows you to have more time freedom, and in our case with Isagenix, more health. But ultimately, the reason why we exist as a person is much deeper than that. There's something that is very intrinsic and very innate that drives us all. So that's the thing that you need to be focused on. In other words, you just need to live authentically, be yourself, and build Isagenix as a component of that, and let it not be the entire reason of why you're doing what you're doing. Okay. Ultimately, what I'm saying is you want to create a movement, because that's what people are buying. They're buying the movement called you. So, is there a question there?
Yeah, there is, John. So Morgan was just wondering how you feel about the term "fake it till you make it" while you're developing your brand.
Yeah, I understand. That's a great question, Morgan. I understand why they say that, because in large degree there is some learning that, like, the learning curve within network marketing is very, very steep. And I would never say to anybody, don't jump in, like start learning right away, because in a lot of sense, you are going to not know everything from day one, and it's going to take you a bit of time to learn. So in essence, you are sort of faking it until you make it. But I would encourage everyone from day one in any business, but especially the business that we're in, immediately to begin thinking about who it is that you are authentically and how that plays a role in the business that you're building and how Isagenix fits into that. Because it's the other way around, right? Like you are not ultimately Mr. or Mrs. Isagenix or Ms. or Mr. Isagenix. It's ultimately that you are a brand and you stand for something in the world of the people that you connect with. Everybody around you already has a word that they associate with you when they think of you. So it's understanding who you are, what your mission is, and continuously working to develop that so that people see that consistency over time and begin to associate that word with you, and then get to recognize that Isagenix is a component of what you do. So I don't know if that answers the question, but certainly there's no harm in faking it until you make it. But my belief is you really do need to think about you as a brand literally from day one. Does that help?
Yeah, that was great, John.
Cool. So that is a roundabout way to say, again, create a movement. But if I could leave you with some three key takeaways to help you in that journey of creating a movement around your identity and who you are. It's hard to do an entire branding conversation in a short amount of time, but these are the three most important takeaways that I could give you based on the experiences I've had. So the first one is you literally need to create a movement based on what you love to do. Okay. So that's takeaway number one. The reality is, and there's a really good chance that people actually know who you are and what you love to do. And chances are there's probably a really large number of people who share in those passions. So like if you're a race car driver, you're not the only race car driver on the planet. If you're a skydiver, you're not the only skydiver on the planet. If you love to paint or you love to do crafts, you're not alone. Other people share in those passions. And the other cool thing is as you're truly building a brand that's authentic and connecting with people in that space, you ultimately will develop relationships with people in that space. And that'll give you a chance to share your story, develop your pitch in terms of how you want to connect with people and how you want to showcase the Isagenix component of what you do. But then you're doing it within an environment that's completely authentic to you because you're being genuine to who you are and not the other way around. And again, as I said off the start, nobody loves to be sold to, but everyone loves to buy. So if you're within an environment that feels right for you, that is right for you, that authentically showcases yourself to the world the way you're truly meant to be, then there's a good chance people will actually buy from you. So I just thought I would throw out some examples of people closer to home that I know of just from working within this environment that I think are doing really good jobs of building brands. And this is not to single anyone out because I know there's lots of examples out there, but these are just people that I personally had conversations with, and I have maybe a little bit more knowledge of what they're doing. And the first one actually is Morgan Parker. And Morgan and I, we haven't really talked a whole lot about all the things that she's doing, but the one thing that I use to describe Morgan as is she's an overall advocate for healthy eating and organic healthy eating. So I know that Isagenix is one component of her brand and that she's doing other stuff that filters up to that. But when I think of Morgan, I think of this advocate for organic healthy eating. And that to me is a really powerful message because if I need somebody to talk to, I'm going to go to Morgan because she seems really credible in that area. Another guy that I know of here locally, Cody May, he's really focused on being a messenger about living your life that's a purpose-driven life. So he's creating this movement around that idea. And again, I only know that just because I've had conversations with him, but I see the brand work that he's doing, and I'm really inspired by how he's going about that because none of it says Isagenix. He's literally creating a movement behind this idea that we should all be living a purpose-driven life. Another guy that I'm familiar with is a guy by the name of Josh Chessman, who's a personal trainer here locally, but his brand is actually all about building positive, healthy habits. And again, that has somewhat to do with Isagenix, but it's a much bigger idea. He's creating a movement around positive, healthy habits. Another guy, just throw the name out there, Trevor Pitts, and a lot of you would be familiar with him, but his whole brand, him and Jen, are creating a brand around helping to bring families together. So it's interesting because each of those individuals that I just named, again, I know those are not the only ones, but those are ones that I've had conversations with. They're literally creating movements that people are being attracted to. Ultimately, on this takeaway, what you should take away is you want to build a brand that's authentic and that ultimately is credible, differentiated, and ownable, that sets you apart in the marketplace so that they're following your movement. Okay? Second takeaway is you want to consistently deliver your brand message. Okay? So it's cool to have a brand, but if you don't consistently deliver the message, then it won't make sense to anybody because it'll be disjointed. This is true for both the online world and the offline world. In the online world, we have social media, websites, online PR, so digital news media. So there's lots of ways for a message to be strung together. But what you need to make sure of is whatever message you put out there, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or whatever vehicle you choose, it's consistent across the board in terms of the visual look, the communications that you write, the PR that you spin, all of that. The same is true in the offline world, whether you use business cards, other collateral, conversations, or any presentations that you make. All of it should be uniquely tied together to deliver upon your brand message. Because ultimately, again, that's what people are buying. That consistency over time will actually further entrench in the mind of the people that you're trying to inspire behind your movement to believe in the idea that you are actually putting out in the marketplace. And if you look at the really good brands, the ones that some of you just mentioned off the top, Those are things that they do very well, is they consistently deliver that message. The final takeaway is, once you've established those things, continue to build relationships with your tribe, okay? And it's pretty cool because we're in a network marketing business, and so that's especially true for what we do. But the fact remains that even without a network marketing business, building relationships with your tribe, the people that you're trying to target and attract to what you're doing, is actually crucially important, because those people become an extension of your brand. They become brand advocates. So that is word of mouth, which again is a side benefit to what we do in network marketing, because we want people to be word of mouth marketers for Isagenix. But in the context of our own brands, we want people to be advocates of what we do. And the powerful idea behind building a brand that isn't just based on Isagenix, but based on who you are as a person, is that people that you haven't enrolled may be your brand advocate to other people that are potentially the next person on your team. So it's very crucial that you always build relationships with the people you're trying to attract to your tribe, so that they are an extension of who you are in the marketplace. Those 3 key takeaways are literally like the building blocks to, in my opinion, building a great brand and a great personal brand for yourself as you go through your journey. So I would offer you some homework. I think you're supposed to have some homework here. And so I'll just throw out a couple of tidbits for homework. The best brands usually describe themselves the following way. They usually describe themselves as a person, and they usually say the following: we're the brand that does X to, and then fill in the blank, to solve, inspire, motivate, help, whatever the word is that you resonate with, to help people do Y. So in other words, a brand tries to solve a pain point, and they want to make sure consumers understand that. So in the case of Tesla, because that's the last example we talked about, literally helping the world transition to sustainable energy is what their brand is all about. So I want you to start thinking about that piece as a homework. And I also want you to think about the why that you develop within ICU or any other Isagenix conference that you've been to as an extension of your overall brand identity. Ultimately live a life that's authentic to you, that's genuine to your mission in life, and make sure you authentically live it that way and build Isagenix in as a component of that overall delivery. You're weaving this story together. So on that note, that's all I have.
Thank you so much, John. Guys, how great was that? Oh my gosh, you're such a wealth of knowledge. Thank you so much, John. So we just got to wrap up this call. Unfortunately, we don't have time for questions. But guys, if you do have questions, I'm sure John wouldn't mind if you reach out to him on Facebook. No, he doesn't. He's shaking his head, so that's good. So guys, please feel free to do that. So just remember to start thinking about your why. So if you haven't watched Peter Kelly's Finding Your Why, I would do that. That was amazing. Sorry, John, can you stop screen sharing?
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Awesome. Thank you. So guys, please check out that YouTube video. It's so phenomenal for igniting your why. So if you have any friends or people of your team who aren't on the call, this will be posted on the YouTube Start Canada page. So please share that and subscribe. Next week, next Sunday, 8 o'clock, we have the beautiful host Morgan back. And we have Chancey, who's one of the Start 1000s. She's going to be speaking on, I think, how to connect over the holidays. We're still doing that? Okay, so we're going to be doing that. And then Rihanna is going to be our Starter Spotlight, who's one of our Start committee members. So with that, guys, please pump this call. We want to get it maxed out by the end of the year. That's one of our goals. So please continue to share. And we're just going to do a quick screenshot. So all you hidden gems in there, come on out.
Whoop, whoop. Let's give it up for the speakers tonight, guys. You guys rocked it. Thank you so much, everyone.
And so many people couldn't get on the call because they don't have power. So
really?
Recording. Yeah, I got a bunch of text messages that no one could get on because their power was out.
No.
Good thing it's recorded. Okay, you guys ready? Hold on one sec. All right, 1, 2, 3. There we go. You guys are the best. All right. Thank you, Kim, for hosting. Thank you, John. Thank you, Alicia. And thank you, Adriel. We are so grateful that you guys joined us tonight on this call.
Thank you guys. Have a great day. Night.
Bye.